This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on April 20th, 2012. Our time is 8:40 Mountain, 10:40 Eastern. Radio show runs AM 640 in Toronto, 630 CHED in Edmonton, QR 77 in Calgary. We should remind our Calgary listeners, next week, we would normally be on Saturday, April 28th. We're going to be on Sunday, April 29th, 5 until 6 o'clock. So Sunday, April 29th, 5 until 6, instead of Saturday, the 28th. For those listening in Calgary, if you ever miss a radio show, they are archived on Harold's website, HESradio.com, HESradio.com. Podcast as well, we have that. And should remind everyone, Harold's other website is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And coming up later in the show, we'll talk about diamonds. It has been an outstanding week for diamonds. Some amazing, amazing results in the world of diamonds with auctions from Christie's and Sotheby's. One of the stories that we had this week, and it's in the newsletter, if you'd like to get the newsletter, call 1-866-623-2002. Richard Russell coming out and saying, Harold, that the rich, they are moving into hard assets. And if the auction results from Christie's and Sotheby's this week are any indication, that is definitely the case.
You bet. That was very, very exciting. I can't wait to talk about that in the second half of the show. But all in all, the hard asset market is the place to be at this particular point. There's just so much uncertainty in the world financial markets at this time. This week, again, the markets were choppy, but we anticipated that this would happen being an election year this year. As we're taping the show on Friday, gold is trading up 260. We're back up to the 1650 level. So the gold market, there's two major support levels for gold. One's at 1625, which we held this week and last week, and below that is 1580. So again, at this particular point, the gold market is trading in a fairly tight range, as is silver. And what we'd really want to see in order for gold to break out would obviously see, close above 1800, which is about $150 from here, and then to take out the old highs of 1900, which we still have an excellent chance of doing later on this year. Again, don't forget, this being an election year, there's a lot of, information that comes out, that really stretches the imagination. It really doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but we know that President Obama definitely wants to be reelected. He's going to prey on the fact that the real estate market is getting a little bit better, the jobs numbers are getting better, and we're making some headway. But I'm a Canadian living in the United States, and we just don't see it that way. Again, the unemployment picture is dismal in the United States. A lot of people are suffering, and the real estate market is horrendous, and there's a very strong chance of another downturn in the U.S. real estate markets, especially in the hot areas of Florida, California, Nevada, and Arizona. So, again, things are really not getting better. In actual fact, we anticipate that the second half of the year is going to be extreme, and going into the last quarter, we could see some real fireworks happening, especially right after the elections. So again, the gold market is trading in a tight range right now. We're trading right at around 1650. The numbers that we want to watch on the downside are 16 and a quarter. If we did break 16 and a quarter, it could go to 1580. But again, those numbers really are not going to hurt the overall position in gold at all. We do recommend that if you are going to trade or invest in gold and silver, that you own it physically, that you don't heavily leverage these markets, don't trade the futures markets or options market. 90% of the people that trade those markets lose their money. The silver market is the same as gold. Right now we're trading, actually we broke back above $32 this morning. We're trading right now at about $31.88. The numbers that we really need to watch on silver are $30, $28 and $26, and if hit any of those numbers, it would not hurt the bullishness of silver, in my opinion. In fact, we still believe that silver is tremendously undervalued, and again, being able to buy silver at around $32, I believe, is a steal, and we should see a retest of the $50 level that could easily happen this year, but before this whole thing is over, we do anticipate that the price of silver could be in the triple digits. It could be $100 to $150 metal. I'd definitely be buying silver physically at these lower levels. The platinum market is up $4 today. We're trading at $15.89. for one of the first times ever, platinum is actually trading below the price of gold, which again, back in 1979 and 80, when we had record prices in precious metals because of high inflation, it was actually platinum that led the way. Platinum was at 1,100 when gold actually hit 850. We're still bullish on platinum and palladium especially. Palladium is up $13 today. We first started recommending palladium many years ago when it was at $170. We're now trading at just below $700. It's at $680. So palladium has done extremely well. By the way, for those of you that don't know, palladium is used in catalytic converters in the automobile industry. So is platinum. Those are the two major usages for those two metals. And with the car industry seeming to do well at this particular point, I believe the lesser priced palladium will do better than platinum. So if you are looking for an alternative investment, the palladium market does look good, and we have seen palladium prices in the past as high as $1,100. We have seen the stock markets very iffy. Stock market today is up 110 points. We're back over 13,000 on the Dow. But again, every indication is that next year after the elections, the stock markets around the world could be in tremendous trouble. That is not an area that I'm bullish on at all, and I basically have $0 in the stock markets at this particular point. The other area that we really need to watch is the U.S. dollar. As goes the U.S. dollar, at least at this particular point, so does gold. So usually when the U.S. dollar drops, gold goes higher. Right now we're trading at 79.18 on the U.S. dollar. I know that's a confusing price, but it's the price of the U.S. dollar trading against other foreign currencies, a basket of foreign currencies that makes up actually the Japanese yen, the British pound, the Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, and all those. And again, the U.S. dollar, which used to be the strongest of all currencies, is now one of the weakest, and I do anticipate that the U.S. dollar will continue to fall substantially. We don't necessarily want to see the U.S. dollar go above 80 cents or above 82 cents. 84 cents is the number that we'd be most concerned about. And every time the U.S. dollar gets above that 80 to 82 cent level, that's when you tend to see gold trading at the lower end of its range. However, with the tremendous amount of dollars that the Federal Reserve prints of U.S. dollars, in my opinion, there's really no chance that the U.S. dollar is going to be the reserve currency anymore and going to be a strong currency. So, again, we do anticipate that the U.S. dollar will fall. In fact, when gold hit 1900, the U.S. dollar was down at about 72.5 cents. That's a very important number for the U.S. dollar. If it breaks 72.5 on the downside, that's when we anticipate we'll see the price of gold actually hit 2,500 and higher. And before this whole thing is over, it is very feasible that the price of gold will be in the $4,000 to $5,000 range. The other market that we're extremely bullish on is crude oil. As we're taping the show right now, crude oil is up $1.70. We're trading at 104. Now, we've been trading above the $100 level for quite a while, and again, we did see oil hit as high as $110 this year. We do believe by the summertime there's a very good chance that we could see the oil market break above 200 if a war breaks out between Israel and between Iran. And the fact is that it's an area that we have to watch very closely, because one of the major reasons why you do want to own hard assets like gold, silver, and diamonds is primarily because of the crude oil market and the potential for a war in the Middle East. That's a real hotbed at this point. Again, it's an area of tremendous concern. And on last week's show, we did enlighten everybody to this frightening situation that Russia is amassing troops on the border of Iran, but not to fight against Iran, to defend Iran. Russia is under the impression that there's no way that Israel will be able to take out Iran in a war, in a fight type of thing, and because they're neighbors and trading partners, Russia has stepped up and literally came out and said that they are amassing troops to protect Iran. That's a frightening situation, because it's also very possible that China could be added into the mix. China gets a tremendous amount of oil from Iran. The problem is that there's been major sanctions brought against Iran, and it's hurt them tremendously. It's hurt their dollar, which has plummeted by more than 50%, and basically they're not able to sell their oil. So Iran is in a terrible financial position, but at this point they show no signs whatsoever of backing off of their threats of attacking Israel. So unless you believe that Iran is going to go away, they're going to be good boys, and everything is going to be fine, and they're going to close down their nuclear plants and everything like that, then there's no reason for you to invest in the oil market primarily. However, if you're under the impression, as we are, that Iran is not going to go away quietly without kicking and fighting, and that there is going to be a war coming up this summer, and it is going to be Israel and Iran, it could be a devastating situation that could literally bring oil overnight to the $200 level. Now, it's also very possible, depending on how severe things get, that oil could go to $300 to $400. There's no limit to how high that market goes. And even though President Obama was on the news this week, or on the television, talking down the price of oil and talking down speculators from speculating in the price of oil, the fact is that oil is now trading at $104 and is up $1.70 today. So high oil prices are extremely inflationary and will definitely hurt any type of recovery. You've also got the situation going on in Europe, which at one time seemed to be getting a little bit better, but at this particular point doesn't seem to be. Greece is still in huge trouble, but now they're talking tremendously about Italy, Spain, and Portugal, that they could all be in huge financial trouble, and again, that could lead to massive inflation and major banking problems. So, the thing is with this particular radio show, it's not that we're a doom and gloom radio show. We're not in any way, shape, or form. What we bring to you is the real news, what's really happening, and what you should do to protect yourself. If you own insurance on your home, on your car, on your life, on your health, and all that type of thing, you need to own insurance on your financials. And the fact is that I don't believe that we've ever been in a riskier time and a riskier market than we're in right now. We saw back in 2008 when the financial markets crumbled around the world that the stock markets fell in half, and most people lost most of their money. The fact is that we could see that scenario happening again very soon. That happened when Lehman Brothers went under, and they're actually saying that when Lehman went under, it almost destroyed the financial markets as we know them. Now there's experts coming out and saying the same thing. Because of the sovereign debt situation in Europe and the fact that all these countries are on the verge of bankruptcy, it basically means that we could see massive inflation, and as these banks go under, they're all interconnected. U.S. banks and Canadian banks and French banks and all that are all connected. They all loan money to each other. And the fact is that if these banks do go under, and the chances are excellent that they will, it will affect the markets in a gigantic way. So again, what we really need to do at this point here is remain very, very conservative. Speculation is not a smart thing at this point because the markets are whipsawing back and forth. There's no direction to stocks or commodities at this point till the elections get worked out. The fact is that you do need insurance, and insurance is hard assets. It always has been. In the times of high inflation back in 1979 and 80, the price of gold went in 1972 from $35 all the way up to $850, and the price of silver went from around $1.50 all the way up to $52, and that was because of inflation. There's no way with $100 oil or $150 to $200 oil that we're not going to have massive inflation. And if your income is not going up at this particular point, if you do not have the type of assets that will go up with higher oil prices and higher gold prices, basically when inflation goes up, you're going to be like 90% of the people out there that are going to suffer financially. We've done this radio show in Canada for over a decade now. We first started recommending gold at $250 when people were laughing at us, and silver at $3.80. Oil was back at $18 at that point, and we rode oil all the way up to $150. So our clients have done extremely well. The fact is that we are not changing our recommendations in any way, shape, or form. In fact, we're even more bullish on the markets than we have been because Wall Street is talking down gold, and the fact is that a lot of the speculators are out of the market. We don't deal with speculation. We deal with the reality of what's happening in the market, and the smartest thing that we could do at this particular point is to lighten up on anything that is speculative. And that means stocks, because again, there's no way that the stock markets will continue to go up when the economy is so poor. Corporations are not doing as well. There's a handful that are, and those are the ones that were basically bailed out and helped by the government, but all in all, the overall economy is extremely tight. We need to be in gold, silver, rare colored diamonds, and those are the three areas that will protect you against the onslaught of inflation that's coming. If you're, as I mentioned before, if your income is not going up because of investments. The fact is that you need to be in the right markets at this point. And again, to hedge against inflation, it's always been gold, silver, and diamonds that's been the avenue in which to go. So again, be very, very careful. These markets are like a coiled spring right now, and we could wake up one day within the foreseeable near future and see the price of gold up $100 to $200 from where it is right now. And we could see oil up $100 at night if anything breaks out with Israel and Iran. And again, the fear of possibly Russia and China getting involved, and the reason that they're saying that they would do that is because they believe that Israel could not take Iran on its own, and they do believe that the United States and England will defend Israel, and again, it has all the earmarks of World War III, and that would be a frightening situation. So again, what does a small investor do? We're just hardworking, Canadians that are trying to do the right thing. We're not the billionaires of the world like Warren Buffett. We work hard, we may have had some success, and we want to protect that money. It isn't so much about making money right now, it's preserving what we have and not losing it, because there will be tremendous opportunities down the road. So, again, I would definitely take advantage of the low prices in the markets at this point. Silver, I believe, is one of the best buys that you can make at this particular time. I love the gold market, I love the oil market, and I love the rare colored diamond market. That's where I have my money.
It is time to educate yourself about hard assets, having a percentage of hard assets in your portfolio. The company that Harold recommends you use, the only company when it comes to precious metals, is Worldwide Precious Metals. They're celebrating their 10th anniversary as Canada's and the world's, one of the world's leading bullion dealers. And to celebrate, they have announced an anniversary incentive. Contact them at 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002, or go to wwpmc.com for all the details. They will educate you about investing in precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium. Start your own precious metals investment account today, 1-800-632-2002. 623-2002. And this week in our newsletter, and you can get our newsletter free of charge from Worldwide Precious Metals. They'll be happy to send it out to you via email. Get your name on the list. It is a must-read. It's the companion to our radio show. Jim Rickards, who wrote a book recently called Currency Wars, brought up a very interesting fact. Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway stock, when priced not in dollars but in ounces of gold, has declined in value by about 75% since 2000, from 280 ounces per share to 70 ounces per share. Put differently, someone who bought gold rather than Berkshire in 2000 could today buy 4 times as much Berkshire stock using the same gold. That according to Jim Rickards. And here in the last 6 months, Warren Buffett has really been hammering against gold. So Warren, he may want to think about that. Jim Rickards brings up a very good point. Also, news from yesterday. A broker out of Australia predicting $5,000 gold by 2016. In a very bullish prediction, Sydney-based Martin Place Securities has tipped the gold price at $5,000 by 2016, compared to where we are today at around $1,650, addressing the first day in the Perth of the Pay Dirt 2012 Australian Gold Conference. Martin's managing director Barry Dawes said he expects a price of at least $2,000 this year, with the high to be reached quite rapidly. He says, we are bullish on gold, and if you examine the historic price trends for gold and we look out long term, a parabolic curve emerges and it comfortably pushes the price to $5,000 in 4 years' time. Jim Sinclair coming out this week again and saying that he sees quantitative easing in a major way. Quantitative easing to infinity. He believes short-term gold trading from $1,700 to $2,111. Stephen Lieb, a money manager, saying QE3 is now 80 to 90%. He says, I'm going all in if gold dips. He says, I certainly don't see any reason not to be in gold at this point. Long term, the case is so powerful. Gold and some of these junior gold miners, in fact, a few years from now, you're not going to believe what a gift you have here. I'm going to stay with gold. If there is another break in the price, Most everything I have will go into gold, and perhaps some of those junior gold miners where you're really going to get a big boost. That from money manager Stephen Lieb. Also coming out this week, it's in our newsletter. New York Bureau Chief for The Economist says gold is a better currency. Matthew Bishop, he's the New York Bureau Chief for The Economist magazine, has given a video interview with the Wall Street Journal advocating gold ownership as a defense against currency devaluation. He's written a book called In Gold We Trust, The Future of Money in an Age of Uncertainty. Also, King World News, they interviewed Jean-Marie Evelard, a very well-known money manager, and he's done very, very well over the years investing in gold. He says, we are looking at a catastrophic situation going forward. Investors should look for protection from this global storm by owning gold, or even gold mining stocks for that matter, because they are so undervalued vis-a-vis bullion. I have no appetite for bonds or cash because every central bank is debasing their own currency and cash yields nothing. My contention is that the inflationary policies are already in place. As long as they are in place, the upside for gold remains intact. I mean, every now and then there will be a correction. Some individuals argue that gold must go much lower before we turn around and make new highs. He says, and this is the very important part, all I know is I don't want to lose my position in gold. If you look at the central planners, their idea right now is to let's create money out of thin air. That's simply wrong. It will have a very negative unintended consequence at some point. When? I have no idea. But it will. It will indeed. It always has. And I know that some people have been frustrated with the gold market and silver market. We had some big gains at the beginning of the year, and now we're seeing consolidation. But Rick Rule, he was interviewed by King World News as well, and he put it best. This is a must-read article in our newsletter. He says, I'm too old to wish for chaos, but it's coming, according to Rick Rule, who works with Sprott Asset Management. He says, for people who are frustrated with the volatility in this market, especially the downside volatility, simply remember that what is changing, well, basically it's people's attitudes, not the fundamentals. The market doesn't care if you're frustrated. The market doesn't care about your time frame. The market doesn't care about anything. The market is merely a facility for buying and selling assets. If you have the courage of your convictions, if you believe, as an example, that gold is a better store of wealth than fiat currency, then stay the trade. And Harold, we've said that for quite some time. We have about a minute left here. This situation we're in right now, time period, reminds me a lot of before the financial crisis. I was telling a very close friend that a financial crisis was happening. It's going to be coming. And he said, well, when? I said, I don't know exactly when, but I know with the fundamentals of what's happening today, it is going to happen. It did happen. He said, you're right. I'm getting that feeling now. We're in a similar scenario that we're at a tipping point where something dangerous is going to happen again.
Well, it certainly looks like it, Randy. Again, every indication is that we're going to head into a very, very difficult time going into 2013. Again, the elections are a big deal. People want to see what the outcome's going to be. My guess is that there's a 75% chance that President Obama will get reelected. He's got the money and he's got a little bit of momentum going his way. But, all in all, I see major problems, and it's all over the world. It's a sovereign debt situation in Europe. It's a potential war with Israel in the Middle East, and it's the United States economy sinking. So, again, this is like the calm before the storm, and what we really need to do is just to hunker down, make sure that we have our investments all in line at this point, and just sit back and let it happen. And that's what I believe the smartest thing is to do.
To invest in precious metals, 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002, the website www.pmc.com. Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals about their incentive program celebrating their 10th anniversary. Going to come back and talk about diamonds as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on April 20th, 2012. Our time is 9:05 Mountain, 11:05 Eastern. Radio show runs AM 640 in Toronto, 630 CHED in Edmonton, And AM 640, obviously, if you ever miss a show, if you live in Toronto or Edmonton, the show runs in Calgary as well, QR77. Ever miss a radio show, they're archived on Herald's website, HESradio.com. We have a podcast as well. You can put it on your iPod and listen to us anywhere you go. Should mention, normally, we are on the air Saturday in Calgary, and our next show, Saturday, April 28th, that show is moving to Sunday, April 29th, 5 to 6 o'clock instead of Saturday, April 28th. Keep that in mind if you live in Calgary. To invest in precious metals, the telephone number 1-866-623-2002. There's only one company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in precious metals. That is Worldwide Precious Metals, a Canadian company. They are one of the leaders in the bullion business in Canada, around the world. It's their 10th anniversary, and to celebrate, they have announced an anniversary incentive. If you'd like to learn more, go to their website, wwpmc.com, or speak with them. The telephone number, 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002. Should mention that now is the time to get on the list for our free weekly newsletter. They send it out via email free of charge. Worldwide will be happy to do that for you. It's a must-read every week. This week, we have outstanding information on all the different markets. And to give you an idea, chart of the week, we have our charts of the week, quotes and quick hits, information on diamonds, gold, silver, quantitative easing, sovereign debt crisis, Spain. It's going to need a bailout. They're very concerned about Spain and Portugal. The U.S. debt and deficit continues to be a major problem. Also, oil and natural gas, real estate, and the geopolitical situation. Get our free weekly newsletter via email sent out free of charge every week. Speak with Worldwide, 1-866-623-2002. Harold's two websites for diamonds, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and his auction website is hsfineauctions.com. The next auction is to be announced. When we know when it is, we will let you know. But this week, you want to get the newsletter from either Worldwide or Herald. Herald will be happy to send it out to you as well. The diamond section of the newsletter is a must-read. We say that a lot. We sound like a broken record at times, but you really must read this week. We have our featured diamond. This week's diamond is a 2.56 radiant cut fancy yellow internally flawless diamond. You can see the video, Herald's website, the only diamond website with video of the diamonds. It's rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and speak with him about the featured diamond. And this week, we had major news. There were two sales. Christie's New York Magnificent Jewel Sale, New York City, April 17th. And there was another sale, Sotheby's Magnificent Jewel Sale, New York City, April the 18th. And the big news was the jewels belonging to Huguette Clark, they called her the reluctant heiress, sold for $21 million at auction. But the big news was a rare 9-carat pink diamond. And the estimate on it, and this was the estimate that was given by the auction house, was around, let me take a look here, $6 to $8 million. It went for $15.7 million. So the estate of Huguette Clark did very well, and that money, by the way, is going to charity. And we have those stories in our newsletter about the auction for the pink diamond. And we should mention that it actually went to a buyer in the United States, a diamond, gem, and jewelry specialist that specializes in investment diamonds. So you can see the demand is definitely there. And Harold, it's a must this week that our radio listeners and clients get the newsletter, get the auction results, because, and I'm going to let you go through some of them, they are simply outstanding. It wasn't just the pink diamond that was amazing, but there was another one that Sotheby's had. It was a blue diamond. In fact, the estimate on it was $300,000 to $500,000. It went for $2.4 million. And that was a blue diamond that really is setting the blue diamond auction world on fire at this point.
It's so exciting, Randy. Again, all these auction results were just amazing. And again, it's certainly setting the tone for what's going to happen in the foreseeable near future with the rare colored diamond market. You know, the rare colored diamond market makes up such a small percentage of the overall diamond market, but it's so important because, again, some of the rarest diamonds in the world are these amazing colored diamonds. Now, again, you know, we may be saying to ourselves, how in the world could the experts at Christie's estimate that a pink vivid diamond is going to sell for $6 to $8 million, and it actually realized $15,762,000. Is it that they don't know their business? No, they definitely know their business, but it's just a sign of the times. You know, the fact is that rare colored diamonds are portable private wealth. They're real estate in your pocket. They're the only form of portable private wealth really left in the world, and the fact is because there's so few of these diamonds around, believe me, there are very few diamonds like a 9-carat vivid purplish pink diamond. I mean, it's extremely rare, and again, $6 to $8 million is a good price, but $15 million is what the diamond sold for. It's absolutely thrilling. Now, not all diamonds are $15 million. For example, lot number 281 was a pair of diamond and colored diamond ear pendants, and basically they weighed about 3 carats, cut from a cut-cornered, modified, rectangular cut fancy intense yellow diamond weighing approximately 1.38 and 1.37 carats. It was supposed to sell for $130,000. It sold for $170,000. There was another diamond, lot number 261, which was a beautiful European cut brown, and it was supposed to sell for $100,000. It sold for $362,000, basically 3 times what the experts thought it would sell for. Lot number 258 was a pair of earrings with a marquee fancy cut grayish bluish diamond weighing 1.85 carats. It was supposed to sell for about $350,000. It sold for $866,000. Lot number 252 was a colored diamond ring. It was a fancy, deep brownish, greenish, yellow diamond ring, a lot of colors in there, weighing approximately 10.22 carats, supposed to sell for about 40 to 60, sold for $122,000. And then there was a ring by Graf that was a 43 carat, was supposed to sell for $1 million. It was a 43 carat intense yellow, and it sold for almost double that, $1.87 million. The blue diamond that Randy brought up before was supposed to sell for $300,000 to $500,000. It was a 3-carat blue, and it ended up selling for about $2.5 million. That's what's happening in the rare colored diamond market. It's so exciting to see these prices come through. Most people know that we had our auction 2 weeks ago on hsfineauctions.com, and where we are not selling at this particular point, you know, the type of diamonds that Christie's and Sotheby's are selling. However, our average sale at our auction is $25,000, and we did have diamonds that sold, you know, in the $60,000 to $75,000 range. So we're extremely proud about that. But the rare colored diamond market, you know, we first started bringing that to our listeners about 7 or 8 years ago, and I wrote an article called "Natural Fancy Colored Diamonds: The Best Kept Secret." Well, it's not a best kept secret anymore. Everybody's talking about it. In fact, this week there has to be 7 or 8 articles that came out on rare colored diamonds. So it's an exciting time. It's one of the better investments that you could make because, again, it doesn't trade on exchanges. So basically gold and silver, stocks and currencies and those type of things trade on exchanges around the world. And you've got buyers and sellers that determine, you know, the price of that market on a daily basis. With a rare colored diamond market, it doesn't trade like that. It's mostly supply and demand. Again, there's not any 9-carat fancy, vivid, purplish pink diamonds available. That's why that diamond didn't sell for $6 or $8 million. It sold for more than double that at $15 million. So again, it's one of the best investments you can make. Rare colored diamonds of the higher quality, they never decline in value. They're not a short-term investment. You don't buy a diamond today and expect to sell it a year or two from now. You're not going to make any money with that. You want to hold on to them for 5, 10 years or more. In fact, most of the diamonds that sell at auction, you know, were bought bought many, many years ago. They were bought as beautiful jewelry. They may have been handed down from generation to generation, but the bottom line is that these diamonds have gone up tremendously in value over time and will continue to do so. We know that the yellow flawless diamond market, which is a market that we specialize in, is a very strong market. You know, these are not diamonds that are in the multi-millions. You can get involved starting at $15,000, $20,000. The fact is that these diamonds go up by about 25% a year. They double in price every 4 years, and they never, ever decline in value. Again, they're portable, private wealth that can be sold in other currencies. And to give you an excellent example of that, at our last auction, we had a British buyer from London who bought all of our diamonds at auction because of the currency. The British pound was worth 35% more than the American dollar, and he bought every single diamond on our website. And it made sense for him to do so. He got fabulous prices on some very, very rare diamonds, and he picked up 35% on the currency. We anticipate doing the same thing when we go to sell our diamonds. We can sell our diamonds in parts of Europe or in Asia where their currency is stronger. And again, that's something that we like to bring to the table for our clients. The fact is that back in 1979 and 80, both white diamonds and colored diamonds skyrocketed in price. They went up approximately 500% in those 2 years. The reason that we brought colored diamonds back to the forefront again is because we're convinced that we're going to have another massive bout with extremely high inflation coming over the next 4 to 5 years, and we anticipate that the price of these diamonds will increase in price substantially. We love the yellow flawless diamonds. Obviously, blue diamonds are doing tremendously well. We're cutting some magnificent green diamonds that we will be bringing to the market within the very foreseeable near future, and green diamonds are ridiculously rare, but we do have some beautiful green diamonds coming out. The other diamonds that you should give very serious consideration to are the Argyle pink diamonds. Pink diamonds are starting to sell for massive prices, and it's because 95% of the world's pink diamonds come from one mine. It's in Western Australia, and it's called the Argyle Mine. The Argyle Mine was discovered in 1985. It's one of the largest producing diamond mines in the world. It literally produces about 30 million carats of diamonds a year. Most of those diamonds are low-grade white industrial diamonds. The Argyle Mine is famous for their pink diamonds, and the fact is that the Argyle Mine produces 95% of the world's pink diamonds. Rio Tinto, who owns that mine, says that they plan on closing the mine by 2018 or before. If the mine is not producing and not profitable anymore, it makes no sense to keep the mine open. It's like anything else, that when they close this mine down, there will be no more pink diamonds, or very few of them available, and we anticipate that prices will absolutely skyrocket in price, just like we're seeing right now at auction. So basically, we recommend very strongly that you look at the Argyle pink diamonds. Now, Argyle pink diamonds are not large diamonds. You're not going to find a 9-carat Argyle pink. They don't exist. The largest diamond that came out of the mine, I believe, last year was just over 2 carats, and it sold for a fortune at the Argyle pink diamond tender. We bring these Argyle pink diamonds to our listeners as fabulous investments. Most of them are smaller diamonds. About 90% of the Argyle pink diamonds that come out of the mine are around a quarter a carat or smaller. And the fact is, as we're getting closer to the end of the mine, the diamonds are falling in size and in color. So the fact is that the way that the Gemological Institute of America grades colored diamonds by color, faint is the lowest color, very light, then what is known as fancy light, and then you've got fancy pink, fancy intense pink, fancy deep pink, and fancy vivid pink. Those are the 4 best colors in pinks and in yellows and in blues. So the fact is that those are the colors that we deal in, and those are the colors that we bring to our clients. The fact is that to own an Argyle pink diamond is a tremendous diamond to own. They're so beautiful, and we set them, if you want, in the most beautiful settings for our clients, either in beautiful rings or in beautiful pendants. Also, our signature for rare colored diamonds is a little red diamond. We're very well known for red diamonds, and inside of the setting of every ring that we make, because we make very high-end rings, we place a little red diamond as our signature and as a gift to our clients, and they're absolutely spectacular. We anticipate that the price of Argyle pink diamonds will increase in price substantially over the next 5 to 10 years, especially the closer we get to the mine closing down. Now, we're the only company that can resell your diamonds for you. The fact is that I built HS Fine Auctions for my clients to resell their diamonds and high-end collectibles, and we've literally created a secondary market to resell high-end collectibles. It's not only restricted to our beautiful diamonds, but also for some of our beautiful gold and silver sets that many of our clients have bought over the years, and for emeralds, rubies, and sapphires. In all reality, if you look at what Christie's and Sotheby's sell, they sell the very, very high-end diamonds. Again, a 9-carat vivid pink argyle for $15 million, and we do hope to get to that level over the foreseeable future. But at this point, there has never been an avenue for investors to resell these amazing smaller pinks and yellow diamonds, and that's what we created for our clients. It took 2 years to build it. It's the only live, real-time auction site ever built, and I literally sell every single diamond and piece on that because they need to be sold. It can't be like an eBay type of situation where you just place an item with a written description of it, and people bid on it with no motivation or no enthusiasm. When we built HS Fine Auctions, it was for our clients to resell their high-end collectibles, and again, the prerequisite for it was that it had to be live and us selling every piece, and we've had 5 auctions so far, every one of them extremely successful, but the last was the most successful of all, as we sold every silver and gold coin set, and we sold every single diamond, including a fancy, vivid yellow internally flawless diamond. We sold a magnificent, nearly flawless princess cut pink argyle, and we sold a vivid pink argyle diamond that sold in the $60,000 range, and we also sold a magnificent heart-shaped, fancy, deep pink argyle with all the documents, and that sold for over $60,000 also. So, again, this has been our 5th auction. We plan on having another auction around the 2nd week of May. We will announce it on next week's radio show, and it's going to be another phenomenal auction as we picked out some gorgeous diamonds to sell. So again, the rare color diamond market, as is evident by what happened this week with Christie's and Sotheby's amazing, magnificent jewel sales, and the prices that were reached were absolutely astounding. So again, congratulations to all of our listeners that have taken our advice and bought and invested in rare colored diamonds. I believe you're going to be very, very pleased with the results, and we're extremely excited to be able to sell those diamonds for you down the road when the time is right to do so.
And people wonder, why should I be in hard assets? Why should I be in diamonds and gold and silver? It's interesting, in the newsletter story from out of England, actually, a research group, Civitas, is coming out and saying that they're calling for a 25% devaluation in the pound. That's right, the British pound, they want to knock it down by 25% to improve growth and be more competitive around the world because their currency is stronger than others. And that's what we're seeing all around the world is devaluations via printing press and governments manipulating their currency because they do not want a strong currency. As a result, we're seeing, and Richard Russell mentions it, and we have the story in our newsletter this week, that the rich, they are moving into hard assets. And it's no surprise when you have countries around the world debasing their currency, people in hard assets that cannot be debased. You can't print gold, silver, and diamonds. Harold's website is rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. The telephone number 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022. Speak with him about the featured diamond this week. It's a 2.56 radiant cut, fancy yellow internally flawless diamond. You can see the video on his website. And to give you an idea, at the Sotheby's sale, they had, and this is lot 171, Harold, a colored diamond ring set with a rectangular cut, fancy intense yellow, weighing approximately 4.27 carats, flanked on either side by a trillion cut diamond, mounted in 18-karat gold and platinum. The estimate on it was 20 to 30. It sold for $104,000, $104,500.
That's so exciting, Randy. That is so exciting.
You can see the potential of this market, and there's another one as well, lot 223, unmounted colored diamond, a pear-shaped fancy gray, yellowish green diamond weighing about 9 carats. The estimate on it, 50 to 70. The price realized was $242,500. There was another diamond. This is lot 216, colored diamond ring. A circular cut, fancy light yellow diamond. It weighed 21 carats. And they actually had an estimate on it of $250,000 to $350,000. It sold for $638,500. So and this is why we're saying, Harold, this week, get the newsletter from you. Connect with you at rarecoloreddiamonds.com or call you 1-800-432-1022. We have the auction results from Christie's and Sotheby's that will open up your eyes and speak to you about that featured diamond, because you can see the auction results and at the same time see the potential of investing in a yellow diamond like that.
You bet, Randy. And if you go on rarecoloreddiamonds.com and go to the loose diamond section, a couple things you want to look at. Number one are our yellow flawless diamonds. We have we just cut and polished some magnificent diamonds, and a major part of our supply is on the website as we speak. The other thing is that only one diamond in 15 million is over 2 carats, and basically we have just cut some magnificent 2-carat flawless yellow diamonds. There's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 yellow flawless diamonds on our website, between 2 and 2.71 carats. There's another one for 318 and a 456. These are amazing diamonds. And again, to get a diamond that's flawless in yellow over 2 carats is extremely rare. We carry the fancy yellow, the fancy intense yellow, and the fancy vivid yellow. So when you look at the the featured diamond this week, and you see this magnificent 256 radiant fancy yellow flawless, it will literally take your breath away. And we could either sell that diamond to you as a loose diamond and ship it directly to you, or we could put it in one of our amazing ring settings, including that little red diamond, and you could see just by auction how much more these diamonds tend to go up when they're set in rings and necklaces. The other thing that we just added to our website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, if you look, is the investment seminars. And we are doing online seminars to educate you on the rare colored diamond market. So if you need to know about the rare colored diamond market and the potential for investment, and you're serious about it, the fact is that you can go to our website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, go to the investment seminar section, listen to what we have to say. There's a short video there. Fill out the registration form, and we can set up a free seminar for you. Now, again, investing in diamonds is not for everybody. The minimum investment is $15,000 to $20,000, and it goes up from there. So the thing is, when investing in diamonds or any investment, you don't put all of your money into one scenario. So the fact is that you need to be diversified, and what we're recommending is full diversification. The world is so scary right now financially, with countries in Europe going bankrupt and sovereign debt, and the potential in the Middle East for problems, and what's going on in the U.S. and all that. The fact is that you need to educate yourself and understand what the potential is. Look at our online seminars, and again, we do this to educate you. There are investment groups, or if you get 3 or 4 people together that are interested in learning about investing in diamonds, we will literally spend all the time with you that you need to give you the information you need to make an intelligent business decision. And again, we do these for you over the internet and phones. So again, you're going to find it very enlightening. Actually, in the actual seminar, what we did is we cut a yellow diamond. It took 3.5 months to cut it. We videoed the entire process and cut it down to a 2 to 3 minute video. So again, you're going to find this enlightening. If you want to learn how to invest in rare colored diamonds, go to our website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, spelled both American and Canadian. Go to the online seminars, listen to what we have to say in our video, and if it's of interest to you, fill out the form, and we will do a phenomenal seminar for you at absolutely no cost. So, again, we're in a different world now. Things that are happening financially have not happened in most people's lifetime, and we need to be educated as to what we need to do, and that's the most important thing. So we're here to help and to give you the information you need to make an intelligent business decision. We're very, very excited about our seminars.
Really, at this point, with what's happening in the world financially and geopolitically, as we've said many times, it's not about being optimistic, a cheerleader, or being pessimistic. It's about being realistic. And that's the only way we're going to get through this, is being realistic and seeing what's ahead of us and trying to position ourselves to protect the money that we have, the assets that we have. Speak with Harold at 1-800-432-1022. The website is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We'll announce the next auction for hsfineauctions.com. You can take a look at the website and see some of the items that were auctioned off in the past there. Go there and take a look around. Harold, we have about 30 seconds left. It's blown by the show, but I think what we're starting to see, as I mentioned earlier, we're in a scenario where I'm getting that same feeling that we did prior to the financial crisis. It's geopolitically, you've got North Korea that's popped its head up again and is a huge concern. Israel is preparing to possibly strike Iran, and you have the possibility of Russia and China involved, the United States involved, and then we're seeing massive financial problems around the world. It's a very concerning time.
You better believe it, Randy. And again, we're on top of it. The newsletter, will give you all the information you need. It's the real information that you need to make a decision. And again, we're here to help you. If you have any questions at all, I'm always available to any listener to our radio show to try to help you do the right thing. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful week, and I want to thank you for listening to our radio show, and I wish everybody a very profitable day.
Worldwide Precious Metals celebrating their 10th anniversary. Find out about their incentives. Call them at 1-866-623-2002 or wwpmc.com. Connect with Harold, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, or 1-800-432-1022. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.